Hello and welcome to Chapter 1, Functions and Graphs. Today we are going to be working on Section 1.1, which is Graphs and Graphing Utilities. So our objectives for this section is just to plot points in the rectangular coordinate system, graph equations in the rectangular coordinate system, interpret information about a graphing utility's viewing rectangular table, use a graph to determine the intercepts, and interpret information given by graphs. So the rectangular coordinate system is our axes. We draw a horizontal line and a vertical line that intersects at right angles. The horizontal line is the x-axis, the vertical line is the y-axis. The point of intersection for these two axes is there's 0 points known as the origin. So that's the point 0, 0. The positive numbers are shown to the right of the origin and above the origin. That's where the blue is. And the negative numbers are shown to the left of the origin or below the origin, and that's the red values. So our coordinates in quadrant 1 are positive, positive, quadrant 2 are negative, positive, quadrant 3 is negative, negative, and quadrant 4 is positive, negative. Remember, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. So plotting points in the rectangular coordinate system, each point in the rectangular coordinate system corresponds to an ordered pair of real numbers, x, y. The first number in each pair is called the x-coordinate, denotes the distance and direction from the origin along the x-axis. The second number in each pair, called the y-coordinate, denotes the vertical distance and the direction from the origin along the y-axis. So example 1, plotting points in the rectangular coordinate system, plot the point -2, 4. I go left 2 and up 4. Plotting more points here, we have 4, -2, so I'm going to move right 4, down 2. Then we have graphs of equations. A relationship between two quantities can be expressed as an equation in two variables, such as y equals 4 minus x squared. A solution of the equation in two variables, x and y, is an ordered pair of real numbers with the following property. When the x-coordinate is substituted in for x and the y-coordinate is substituted in for y in the equation, we obtain a true statement. So if we're going to graph an equation using a point plotting method, this is what we use our calculators for most of the time. So we're going to graph y equals the absolute value of x plus 1. Just a side note, to help you find the absolute value symbols in the calculator, after you hit your y equals, you're going to hit the math button. And you're going to arrow over to the number menu. And then you're going to pick number 1, which says ABS with the parentheses, and that will bring up the absolute value symbol for you. And we're going to select the integers for x starting with -4 and ending with 2. So if we were to do this longhand, we would have to write out -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2, and substitute into the equation just like so, and then you'd get the ordered pair. But you guys can use your calculators to do that and get your table with that. And then we just plot all of our ordered pairs. So what I would want you to do here is, do your x and y. We went from -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2, and then plot all the points, y values that go with it. So -4, 3, and then it was 2, 1, 0, 1, 2, and 3. Graphing utilities, graphing calculators, and graphing software packages for computers are referred to as graphing utilities or graphers. To graph an equation in x and y using a graphing utility, enter the equation and specify the size of the viewing rectangle. The size of the viewing rectangle sets the minimum and maximum values for both x and y axis. The -10, 10, 1 by -10, 10, 1 viewing scale is called the standard viewing rectangle. So when you hit zoom 6 on your calculator, this is the window we are referring to. And that always gets you back to what you guys would consider the normal window. So what's the meaning of this? If we have -100, 150, that means our minimum x value is -100, the maximum x value is 100, and those little marks on the axis are going to be 50 for each value there. Minimum y value is -100, maximum y value is 100, and this time on the y-axis we're going by 10, so each little tick mark is a 10. Intercepts. An x-intercept of a graph is the x-coordinate of a point where the graph intersects the x-axis. The y-coordinate corresponding to an x-intercept is always 0. An x-intercept of a graph is the y-coordinate of a point where the graph intersects the y-axis. The x-coordinate corresponding to a y-intercept is always 0. So if I'm looking for an x-intercept, we set y equal to 0. If I'm looking for a y-intercept, I set x equal to 0. And then I solve for the opposite value. So for example 5, identifying the intercepts. So we have an x and y intercept. The graph crosses the x-axis at -3, 0. Thus, the x-intercept is -3. The graph crosses the y-axis at 0, 5. Therefore, the y-intercept is 5. Pause the video now and do parts B, C, and D on your own. Those are your U-tries, and we will go over those in class tomorrow. Example 6. Interpret information given by graphs. So your paper has it just a little bit different than I have here, but divorce rates are considerably higher for those who marry younger, but education may also play in the role of longevity of a marriage. The equation D equals 1.8n plus 14 models the percentage D of marriages that end in divorce after n years when married with a high school but no college education. Determine the percentage of marriages ending in divorce after 15 years for high school graduates with no college. So what we're going to do is substitute 15 in for n. And when we do that, we end up with 41%. So the percentage of marriages ending in divorce after 15 years for high school graduates with no college is 41%. So if you notice on your paper, there is a second formula, which is D equals 1.3n plus 6. That's for a bachelor's degree or higher. On your paper, I want you to do the same n value. So solve for n equals 15. What percent of marriages end after 15 years with a bachelor's degree or higher? We'll go over those tomorrow in class.